Welcome to challenge day 3. Yes, we are already on day 3. Well done if you made it this far. You are the most valuable player on this channel, the MVP of this channel. Raise your hands in the comment section so that we'll see you and give you your accolades. You deserve it. Yes, well done. Okay, so today's challenge will be focusing on shaping these beautiful bodies we have right here. I hope you know that this bodice is without darts except the shoulder darts, which we already imputed, but we need waist darts on this bodice. So that's what we're going to be doing right now. We're going to be working on the waist darts. Okay, so first of all, this one is quite easy, quite simple. That's why I actually had to break it down to make it very understandable for you. Get your waist measurement. So my waist measurement when I measured was is 35 inches. So that 35 inches is where this big tummy pouch is here. Okay, so 35 inches there. So we are going to first of all measure what you have along this waistline. You're going to start from here, measure up onto this point, then from there measure up onto this point. Remember, this is your zip allowance and that will be soon. So I'm putting my tape here, I'm measuring it up onto this point. This is where it stops. Can you see that point? So I'll just move my tape in order for me not to work with decimals and fractions. I'll just move my tape. That point I marked, I'll move my tape there so that it gets to this point here, to the other back. This is front, this is the back. So from there, I'm now going to measure till I get here, and that's 21.25. That's the measurement I have along the waistline. Then I'm going to be taking half of my 35 inches because this is like a half scale. So divide your 35 by 2. Okay, 35 divided by 2 is 17.5. Now I have 21.25. Then I'm going to subtract 17.5 so that I know what my excess is. So that's 5 minus 0.5. Use your calculator, please. Okay, 7.3. So I have 3.75 as the excess I need to reduce. I need to remove 3.75 as my darts along this back line. Now the first thing we are going to do to ease this thing is we're going to be taking 1 inch. You're going to take 1 inch at this waistline out of this 3.75 inches. We're going to be taking 1 inch away, right? So mark that 1 inch point. Okay, so we have 1 inch here. If you take 1 inch away from 3.75, you'll have 2.75 left, isn't it? Great. So for this 2.75 we have left, I'm going to take 0.5 here and 0.5 here. So that means I'm taking 1 inch again in total. At the end of the day, I'll have 1.75. For this 1.75, I can take 1.5 here. No, I'll take 1 inch here. Then the 0.75 can now be taken here. Can you see how I spread it? Now, let me tell you the technique you use to spread it. Take the biggest part, not like the biggest part. It should be within 3/4 inches and 1 inch. That should be taken along this waistline at the back, so that that one is going to work a double work, such that it's going to eliminate zipper bulge there. This that they were removing here will eliminate zipper bulge at the back of your dress, gown, blouse, top, whatever. So take either between 3/4 inches and 1 inch. It shouldn't be more than that here, no matter how much you have to share. Some people can share 4, some people can share 5, some people can share 6, some people can even share 2. Depending on how small or how much you have to share, just take within 3/4 and 1 inch on this part. This part is constant to either be 3/4 or 1 inch. This part, the biggest dart should be taken along here. Then here, just share moderately. Here is the smallest dart here. The back dart is the smallest. The front dart is the biggest. The side seams could be 0.5, 0.25, depending on what you have. Then here is constant. So I hope you understand that shaping we just did. Now I'll now rule my lines. Let me show you how we rule the lines. First things first, we already took 1 inch. I'm thinking I want to reduce this to 3/4 inches so that I'll have more on this my front, because this 1 inch is a little too small. So I'll use 3/4 inch, and that 0.25 will join to this part to make it 1.25 inches there. Okay, now see, just look at how I'm going to be joining this line. This is the line, that's a 3/4 inch there. This line is going to be touching the back line. Don't rule it straight to this top line. It should stop at the back line, because you don't want to enter into the measurement of that back width. You don't want to reduce the measurement. But here, you see that now measurement here has reduced, and we already have plus 2 inches extra on the bust. You see why I said it will be lost along the way? So do not fret about the extra allowance that the pattern gives. It will be lost eventually. So that one is taken care of. Now for you to now get your new zipper allowance, you place your ruler this way back. So because I put my ruler like this, whatever measurements you use, if it's exactly 1 inch you use, you just measure back your 1 inch. So I'm just placing my ruler back slanted and joining it back. So this is now my zipper allowance. So when I'm cutting, I'll cut this part off. Okay, so this is the zipper allowance from here. This has taken care of whatever bulge. This is the bulginess that will be cut away. Now here, I said I'm going to take 0.5 inch here. So is this 0.75? I can take 0.5 inches though, so that I can put this remaining 0.25 to join that one again. I want it bigger then. So let me just take 0.5. So the thing is, it's not rigid. As you are going, you think about it. You think it's like you're seeing the end result, and we are working towards the end result. Okay, so plan your darts that way. Yeah, so this is it. So you saw how we came about the darts now, and I'm sure you understand. Please give this a try and show me so that I see what you have done. Now this 0.5 here, I need to measure it. So from this edge to this point, this is where 0.5 is. So I will now mark 0.5. So 0.5 will touch this armhole and also touch the hip line. Okay, so all these ones now can be cleaned off if you had used a pencil, right? Then we'll come to the front. The next 0.5, which is here. Okay, now for this front dart line along the side seams, let me draw my traverse line. You do not want it to cut through this traverse line. You don't want to really this way. See, you don't want to really like this to cut this part. You don't want anything to be lost here. So it's not getting to the armhole. It's stopping at this traverse line here. It's stopping here. Okay, don't touch the bust measurement, it's stopping there. Then from there, you really need to touch the hip line. I hope you get it. Then finally, now this one has increased to 1.5. Remember that I removed 0.25 inches from here. Don't worry, we'll still measure and see that we still have 3.75 was taken as our dart. So 1.5 here. Put your tape roll or your measuring tape and make sure you have equal measurements on both sides. So I took 0.75, 0.75 here and here. So if you add it up together, you have 1.5. And I'll just relate to that first part and reel it down as well. So yeah, great. So this is it. This is it, guys. Yeah. So now let me go back and let us add up all what we have. So get your calculator and add with me. Let's look at the measurement we took. From here, remember, from this line, which was our zipper line, I took 3/4 inches, that's 0.75 inch here. So write 0.75 here. Then I came here and I took 0.5 inch plus 0.5. I came here, I also took 0.5 plus another 0.5. I came here, I took 0.5 plus another 0.5. And finally I came here and I took 1.5. So plus 1.5. So let's add up. 5 plus, let's put 0, 0, 0. 5 plus 0 is 5. Now 7 plus 5, 12 plus 5, 17 plus 5, 22 plus 5, 27. I write 7, put my point and carry 2 here. 2 plus 0, 2, 2, 2, 2 plus 1, 3. So can you see we still have the same thing here? That means we are on track, okay? So this is how you get the basic bodice, and this is the basic bodice I'll be using to work with what I am going to be working with. Next, we want to impute our shoulder dart at the back. So if you measure this part that you have along the shoulder at the back, you see that it is more than your normal shoulder measurement. When I took my shoulder measurement, I told you that I had 16. I divide 16 by 2 to give me 8 inches. So I actually have 8 inches at the front, okay? That's when I sew up my shoulder dart here or remove my shoulder dart, it will remain 8 inches in front. So I'm going to come to my back here. Let's measure what we have there first. So from this point here, where this shoulder starts from, if I measure up onto this neck point here, before the zip allowance, before here, if I measure from here up onto this point before here, you can see I have 8.5 inches, okay? So that means that I have a 0.5 inch, 0.5 inch that I can use as a dart along this back line. Now, how do I figure out how to do the dart? Come to your front along the neckline, start measuring from that edge here, the edge of the paper, measure from there up onto where this dart begins. So you know this is the beginning of your dart here, and this is where it ends. So I have 4.5 from the edge of the paper to this part. I have 4.5, okay? Then you can also cross-check to see that you are correct. Put that 4.5 here, that's exclude the dart, remove the dart there. Then from there up onto this part, you see we have exactly 8 inches in front. Now, for this 4.5, where that dart begins, come to the back from your zipper line, okay? So that's from this part here, from this zipper edge excess, measure up onto where you have 8.5. You can move it up so that you can see where it is. and this is 4.5. I mean, measure where you have 4.5. So this is 4.5 for me here. So from here to here, this is 4.5 for me. Then I'm going to now measure that 0.5 excess that I said we have. I'm going to put my measuring tape there, and this is where 0.5 will be. So this is the shoulder dart at the back. Okay, so that is how you achieve that. So from here, I'm now going to roll a line not more than 3 inches. So that shoulder dart line should just stop at about 3 inches. And make sure that the line is straight. So you see that it's straight. Okay, this is, so the 3 inches line should be straight, like should be symmetrical to this waist dart line. So the midpoint, figure out where the midpoint is here. This is where the midpoint is. So put the line so that it's going to be straight to meet that point. And remember, you should stop at that 3 inch mark. So I'll just rule a straight line from there to stop at that 3 inch. And then I can now draw my shoulder darts at the back. So that's the shoulder dart at the back. So this comes in play when you're doing your princess darts, when you are tightening along the back. So this will come in play. Okay, so that is it for the shoulder dart. Now let's move on to the next thing to do. But before we round up, I know we said it's just shaping. Before we round up, we want to just extend it to the dress length. We just want to extend it to the dress length so that we can just kick up from there tomorrow. Now, put your measuring tape from this neck point here. Okay, measure to where this point gets to. You see that's about 22.75 inches. But we want to get down. So let's see what the whole pattern stops at. The whole pattern stops at 35.5 inches. So I'll just make this, is it that you increase the length to get to your dress length, or you leave it as it is? Increase the length to where you want your dress length to stop. Okay, so this is 35.5 inches. Then the next thing I'm going to do is either, because this is like a pencil fitting dress, remember that it's not even up to the knee, it's way above the knee. So 35.5 is fine for me. Okay, then I'm going to be penciling this dress. Whatever measurement you have on the hip along this back line, place your measuring tape here. So from here to this point is 11.25. You want to be taking away 1 inch at the bottom of where your own pattern will stop. So if I take away 1 inch from this, it's 10.25. That 1 inch I'm taking away is going to make it, it's going to give room for the pencil. So that's 10.25 here for me. Okay, then I'll just place my ruler from that hip and join it to that 10.25, which is here. Okay, you see it's penciled. If you want it more penciled, you can take away 1.25 inches, but don't let it be too tight that it cannot work. Then the next one, for the front, we do the same thing. Is the hip measurement. Put your measuring tape there. Measure from that edge of the paper to where this hip line stops, and that's 10.75 for me. So if I have 10.75 and I subtract 1 inch, like I said, you can do 1.25 inch or 1.5 inch depending on how penciling, how tiny you want, or how fitted and snug you want it to be, but I'll just leave it for 1 inch for me. If I subtract that, I'll have 9.75. Please use your calculator. Put your calculator beside you if you know all this math thing is kind of confusing. But as a designer, you need to know how to do your math. Thank God for phones. So I'll just place this measuring tape here and measure 9.75, which is here for me. Then I'll put my ruler and draw that line. And c'est fini. We are through. So we'll be kicking off from here in tomorrow's challenge. Okay, so who's got this already? Who's got this already? Can you see that it's already looking like the illusion dress already? Can you see? Right. Okay, so well done, well done, well done. You guys are simply amazing. If you've gotten this far, very big one for you. So yeah, I'm assuring you guys, once you take up this challenge, I'm telling you, even be better than me, I must say. Just be encouraged. Take out time. That's why I really broke it down to 20 minutes videos, okay? Not even more than 30 minutes, so that you can actually dedicate that 30 minutes a day to progressing in your fashion journey. Yeah, so if you've gotten this far, accolades to you. Just stop what you're doing, go and get a glass of cold water, drink the water. That's your reward. Well done. So yeah, now let me dance the dance for tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a banger. Everybody say it will be a banger. Yeah? Yes. So guys, thank you so much for staying tuned, for watching, for doing your basic bodies. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for turning on your post notification. Thank you for giving me huge thumbs up. Thank you for this for the reviews that are pouring in already. I can see your work rolling in already. All right guys, so we'll see you tomorrow. Stay safe, God bless you all. Bye. So here is a basic bodice pattern that I made for clients, because I make bodice pattern for clients. And you can see that this is like a bigger size. See her shoulder that is wider. The waist that you shouldn't get to this point. Don't worry, everything will be explained. The hip dart or the waist dart, see where it's getting to. My chest line, bust line, true bust line, waist, hip, everything all labeled. My back line, waistline, see the zipper in there, see the hip. And something else you can see is that the back and the front overlaps. So when I want to transfer this bodice on another paper, I know that it's overlapping, okay? So don't be scared when it overlaps. See the waist shaping as well. See everything very proportioned. See the back waist, and this always gives her the perfect fit. So I always use this whenever I want to work for her. See her name. I label them. Okay, and this one is another one for another client. You can see the differences in their measurements. See the shoulder dart. So this one I really didn't label it. If you had seen her bodice pattern, the previous person's own, you would have noticed that this waist dart was not so long. She's actually about 5 feet tall. She's 5 foot tall, so that's why her own waist dart was not coming up so much. But look at this other person's waist that's coming up. Yeah, see how it goes down. It's also overlapping because their hip is like almost 50, you know, so it overlaps there. See the waist shaping. I just said let me show you so you have an idea of how other people basic bodice pattern is. See the shoulders, the armhole, the arm side, and it always gives the perfect fit, no gaping, nothing. So yeah.